Hello, all. Welcome back to your English class. I'm Jasmine, and this is the 19th module. In this module, we are going to continue with the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. In the previous module, we saw how the narrator was getting motivated by his children and how he was feeling so determined to find Isle Amsterdam at any cost. Now let's continue reading to find what happened with them further. As you read this part of the story, you can see the narrator rechecked his calculations. They lost their main compass and were using a spare one which is not corrected for magnetic variations. He estimated the influence of the westerly currents which flow through the Indian Ocean. Around 2 p.m., he went on to deck and asked Larry to steer the wheel to 185 degrees. He felt if they were lucky, they would see the island by 5 p.m. Then he went below and slept. He woke up around 6 p.m. and it was dark outside. He thought that they might have missed the island. Then he started worrying about how they would tackle the westerly wind more, as the ship was not capable to sail more. Then suddenly his son came and asked him for a hug. His daughter followed him. The narrator was really surprised and he asked why was he getting a hug. His son replied that he was the best daddy in the world and also called him the best captain. The narrator replied that he was afraid. It was Sue who told him then that they had finally found the island which was as big as a battleship. The narrator rushed to the deck and gave a sigh of relief. They could see the complete outline of Isle Amsterdam. There was a bleak piece of volcanic rock in front of them. It had a little vegetation. He felt it was the most beautiful island in the world. Now let's check out the new words in this section. First one, tousled head, which means disarranged hair of the narrator's son, Jonathan. Second one, bunk, which means bed. Third one, dozed off, which means went off to sleep. Now let's continue reading. In this final section of the story, the narrator tells that they moved the ship at some distance from the shore, and the next morning, 28 inhabitants of the Amsterdam island helped them to move on to the shore of the land. As he felt the land again on his feet, he thought of his crewmen and his wife. He also thought of his 7-year-old daughter and his son, who stood so bravely with him till they finally reached their destination. As he concludes the story, he also reveals that Sue had to go through 6 minor operations to remove the blood clot in her head. He also mentions about his 6-year-old son, who never gave up and was not afraid to die. Here we can see the collective power of unity and the never failing confidence of the sailors made it possible for them to survive and come out from the jaws of death. Thus, the story comes to an end. And before we wind up, I would like to share the meaning of the new words from this section. The first one, bleak, which means an area of land lacking vegetation. Second one, stark, which means sharply defined. With that, I wind up the session and I hope you all enjoyed the story. In the upcoming session, we will discuss more about the chapter, the theme, and the important questions. Thank you.